Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's Mystic Minute is, if we create this reality, why do we create death? That's one of those complicated and simple questions, because when you ask that question, you're more than likely coming from the position of death being loss, being permanent loss, death being something that is painful. Death is something that is to be feared, that is fearful, and just in general, that death is something to be avoided and why on earth would be created. From the perspective of being in the body, death is not a good thing. Our bodies don't like to think about death. Our bodies aren't going to make it out of this lifetime alive. The next level up, so to speak, from that perspective is the awareness that as essence, nothing dies. So any loved ones, any beloved pets, fur babies, people you know, don't die. That is, their bodies die, but the essence of who they are doesn't die. And the essence of who they are and the essence of who you are remains connected. The thing I have noticed with having lost loved ones and actually helped loved ones die is that as essence, they're still with me. They come and go. They show up at different times. But as essence, they're still there. They're still very vibrantly there. This is not a denial, oh, death doesn't exist or people don't die or whatever, but at a higher level, we're connected. So from that perspective, death is not as much of an issue. We're not as attached to death because we're not as attached to our bodies from that perspective. And the moment I say that, my body goes, but I'm very special. I don't like you saying that. So, you know, we have this going on all the time. How our physical bodies personalities perceive, and then how we have a higher awareness. Now, here's the next thing, is if you actually go up from beyond this sort of area of spirit and mind, if you go up beyond that to the awareness of consciousness, and that's actually kind of funny that I put it as a direction, because you could also go deeper in to that perspective of consciousness. There's really no direction when you step into the perspective of consciousness as the creator of all that is. There is this sense of moving in and moving out, diving in and diving out, moving through and moving back. And all of it is storylines and different points along the storyline and different interactions along the storyline. And what's an easy way? If you step back and view all of history, think of everyone who's ever lived or died in history, and imagine all of that running on different levels at the same time. That's the perspective of consciousness. And just looking at that, there's senses of little points of light, and some shine bright and some stop shining. That is the perspective of consciousness of the storyline of this creation. And then you come back from that awareness down into form, and things become a little more sharper and clearer, and then you can see the storyline of, you know, my family member running through the storyline of my lifetime, and my pet's going this way, and I'm going that way, and we're all connecting. As consciousness, we are creating this reality. We are creating everything down to the smallest details. So just imagine the delicious complexity of everything down to subatomic particles, and see it as a dancing flowing mosaic of life energy in different shapes and forms. And actually, there's a sense from this perspective of just immense love for all of it, and immense neutrality of all of it. We dive in, we come out, we shift in shape and form, and that's life. We create exit points and entry points, and there's no good or bad about any of those exit points or entry points. There's really no good or bad about the story of those exit points or entry points. It's all creativity is consciousness. So I invite you to view this from a greater perspective as consciousness, and it gives you an enormous appreciation and awareness for everything that this is, and opens up a lot more opportunities and choices and things to enjoy and have fun with in this life. If you like these videos, you can subscribe to them on YouTube. You can also sign up below to get them in your inbox. If you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. I have a weekly radio show podcast. I also write a weekly blog and newsletter. I do meetups around the Puget Sound from Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma, University Place, and sometimes on Vashon Island. And I do a monthly webinar. And if you want to know more about how to navigate your life from this higher perspective of consciousness and create results beyond what you can imagine, go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and look at my coaching programs. So go to joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you in another couple days with another Mystic Minute.